Hey y'all, and welcome to Skyrim Scripting. On this episode, we're talking about the difference between forms and object references. That is the difference between the concept of a mug of chai tea and an actual mug of chai tea. Spicy. Always spicy. So let's hop in. We need to make a mod. We always make a mod. I should have thought of this before. That's why I want a Twitch, so you can give me ideas. I'm going to make a mod called, I'm going to call it apples. And we'll look at apples, because apples are things. And I'll tell Creation Kit to save its files and apples. As always, you can open up Creation Kit however you want to. I'm using Mod Organizer 2 because I always use Mod Organizer 2. You don't have to use Mod Organizer 2, but you can use it too. So let's save our new mod and we'll call it Apples. My goal, I've got a goal to make this mod. It's like my end game, my end goal for the mod I want to make, and I want to learn how to make this. I want to make a mod that adds an Argonian NPC and sends them into the Skyrim world, and they just wander the entire world, going from town to city to town to city, going to the different merchants, looking for crunchy apples and carrots. If you get that reference, post it down in the comments. Post a link to the video, and you're my favorite person. You're all my favorite people, but especially the crunchy apple person. Especially if you like Oblivion. Go watch that. Spoiler alert, it's called Running in Circles. Let's find an apple. Here's an apple. Here's a red apple. It's a green apple. We can look at the apple. There it is. It's an apple. Hey, look, it bounces. It's an apple that bounces. Woo! So this is the concept of an apple. I don't actually know. Someone out there, if you know how to associate a script with a alchemy food item like this, please tell me, because I can't get the script to drop down to work for the life of me, and I really, really wanna. So tell me if you really, really want. Let's go someplace so we can put an apple there. Dead Man's Drink, Winking Skeever. What's your favorite tavern? I'm going to go to the Bee and the Barb. So I just go to cells and I type Riften Bee, and it shows up. And we just double click on it, or you can just hit enter from the cells. So here we are. There's a rug. I'm going to click on stuff because I suck at this render view. There's a table. We'll put some apples. There's some bread. It's already got some bread. There we go. Let's put an apple on the table. Boop. There's a red apple. It's a green apple. Let's add 2 green apples. And ham. These are instances of apples. This is the concept of an apple. The concept of an apple is that it has a name called red apple. It has a mesh that it uses, and you can find it here in Clutter Food Apple 1. And if you wanted to find that, you could go to your data directory. And all the meshes, there's only 2 BSAs with meshes. This one starts with C for clutter, so it's probably in the first one. These are alphabetized. So if we look in meshes, clutter, what's that one called? Food Apple 1. Food Apple 1, it's right here. And you can open that up in NIF scope if you wanted to. You could turn off everything except for that apple. And you could grab these apples, the red apple and the green apple. You could extract those to your download folder. And just a reminder, that's how you do it. Just as a random reminder. And then your downloads folder, you've got apples. Ta-da! It's an apple. Woohoo! It's an apple. Ooh, look, it's got all those lines and stuff to help it bounce, presumably. I don't know anything about meshes and textures, but I do know about apples. So an apple will restore your health. This means every red apple will restore your health. All of them. But what if we want this red apple to be special? This particular red apple. Let's say that this red apple has a special script and it makes you die. Now this extends an object reference. This other thing over here is just a form. So that base one, the base apple, this is just a form. It says potion, but so far as your scripts are concerned, it's just a form. So we're gonna add a script to this one. Is there something that makes you like grow large or smaller in Skyrim? Is there a spell? Looks like we need a mod for that. Size changing spells. We need one for SSE. Is it Alice in the Wonderland? Is it tea or an apple that she drinks to become small? Skyrim SSE. Cool, I'm gonna add this. Be right back. Here, we can do it together. Just go to Files, Mod Manager, Download. Sure, SKSE and SkyUI. Why does it need SkyUI? What could it possibly need SkyUI for? Let's save our apples. We haven't done anything with our apples. Well, we put them in Riften. There's our apples. Did this download our apples? Let's install our apples. Our growth stuff. Cool. There we go. And let's look inside of it and get its spells, because we're going to cast one of those spells. We're going to deselect everything except for Macromancy. This is totally relevant to forms and object references, I promise. This isn't just me wanting to do this. Spell, grow, shrink. We want these. They got form IDs. See, it's relevant. I'm going to open up Notepad. And we're gonna steal these form IDs. Excuse me while I look really closely, because my eyes are they're old eyes and I have a migraine. So shrink is D77, and grow. I wonder if this is an ESL. It's got kind of low form IDs. Grow. D62 or D6C. Cool. Grow. Sure. Cool. We're good. And I just want to see what that plugin is called. Oh, it's got a long name. Jeepers creepers. Why you got such a long name, yo? That's too long. Macromancy 4 Reborn. We're gonna need that. Let's go back in the creation kit. I'll meet you there. Load the apples. Now here I am in the creation kit. I was about to load up apples. Now if you exit and restart creation kit, it'll now show that you got this this other mod. There's two ways to get the spell from this other mod. We can just ask for it via like an identifier for the spell. Or we could actually have like this to be a dependency of apples. So it can be an optional dependency of apples where if this is installed, we make our apple do extra cool stuff. But let's make it a dependency, I guess. I don't normally do that. I never do that. So I may as well try to do that. This means we can find the Macromancy spells. I'm not going to need those silly IDs. Let's go back to the B in the barb. Riften B. I think it's the first thing in Riften. You can just type Riften. I took about wrong button. There's all of our apples. Fantastic. Fantabulous. We got all of our apples right here. Let's make them do different stuff. One of them will make you shrink. One of them will make you grow. One of them will make you die. Here we go. So this apple is going to get a script. It's an object reference. It's a specific apple. Not all apples. It's a specific apple. Grow apple. Cool, now we can edit this. We can right click edit source. And let me put into Notepad. I'm not going to bother with Visual Studio Code in this one. Let me put into Notepad what I'm going to put in here. We're not going to need that. There's the script. And I want to grab the grow spell. So I can do spell, property. If we wanted to autofill, we could look for grow. Look for it under magic. Magic, 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 magic. Where you at? Reminding me of that B.O.B. song. VMM, I guess that's what they use for their abbreviation. Grow spell. Let's just call ours grow spell. Auto. We learned about auto in the properties episode. We got the grow spell, and you're going to eat the apple. So we need an event for when you eat the apple. So if you've been to the events page, just type in events. If you haven't been to the events page and it's not in your history, Creation Kit. Click on the left for Skyrim. Click on the left for scripting reference. Scroll down to subcategories, and events should be right there. It's a page that you should become familiar with. The events page. Right here. It's your friend. So, I don't know, is there an eat on death? That's not what I want. How about on consume or something? What the hell is it called? I think it's maybe when you activate it. When you activate an apple. Clearly that's eating. So let's say event on activate, and I think it gets the what the hell does it get for this? The object reference that activated. Cool, that'll be the player, because the player activates it. Event on activate. Action ref, because that's long. We can just call it player or eater. Nommer. The nommer that ate it. This is grow apple. So we'll say we'll cast the grow spell on the nommer. Let's see if this compiles. I'm gonna put it in the little box that you've probably been editing in the whole time. Control S compile. It compiled. Let's go set that property. So here's the grow spell. Edit it. And we're gonna go to, what the fuck was that called? It started with V, right? VMM grow spell. Cool. We could try just this one. But now we know what we're doing. That was a grow apple. We're gonna add a script to this one. It'll be a shrink apple. Then we'll have like a deadly apple. Edit the source. We can paste in the same thing, except instead of grow spell, we'll call it shrink spell. We could just call it the spell, and you could reuse the script. You totally reuse the script and just bind a different spell to it. Does that make sense? Because it does the same thing. You just the difference is what this is. But we'll give them different things. So we'll do this. Shrink spell, copy. I'm going to put it in the box. Save. Oh, it failed. Oh, it failed. Oh, it's called, yep. I copied and pasted, so it's supposed to be called shrink apple. There we go. Now that it's compiled, we can go to properties, associate the spell with whatever that thing was called. VMM, shrink spell. There we go, there we go. We're doing good here. And this one's just gonna kill the person. Apple of death. Woo! Apple of death. We don't rename the, we don't have to give it a reference ID. I don't know what those are for, except just to help you organize stuff. I should be calling these like shrink apple script, and sometimes I append script to the end of stuff, but whatever. Let's edit this thing's source, and instead, it won't have a spell. It'll be called Apple of Death. Apple of Death. The Nomer, it's going to kill the Nomer. Nomer as actor.kill. Or we could disable them and have them fade away into nothingness. I like that. Really like that. But we'll kill him. Let's put this in our script. Him or her. We'll kill them. Death by apple is not sexist. Cool. Save. Let's go into the game, I guess. That thing says it needs Sky UI. It needs SKSE for surezies. It said that. So I'm going to go into my mod folder and I'm going to bring over SKSE because Sky UI and SKSE are not normally in my folder. That's how I do my screencasting. I uninstall all the mods between the episodes. Launch it with SKSE because apparently it needs SKSE. Probably to make the people big and small and do all kinds of whatever. We're going to COC Riften, B, and Barb. Hopefully we should see our apples. If I turn on the damn plugin.
Heed my words.
Did I turn on the plugin?
The return of the dragons is not...
I gotta check that apples box. I need this to like, I need to make something that whenever I close Creation Kit and like my ESP isn't activated, it's like, yo girl, you forgot to activate your damn thing.
People of Riften.
People of Riften.
Heed my words.
Heed my words.
The return of the dragons is not mere coincidence.
You're very loud. Shoot.
No, Maramo. We talked about this. Taylor.
Okay, I'm gonna save the game.
Enough, Maramo. We've all heard of the dragons and their return. There's no
Red
need
apple.
to use them as an excuse to harass our
I
customers.
don't want to steal it.
You have committed crimes against Skyrim and her
Yeah,
people.
I've committed crimes.
What say you in
Whatever.
your defense?
I say, take the gold.
Smart man. Now come along with us. We'll take
No,
any stolen
I'm not
goods
gonna
and
do
you'll
that. Guess I'm glad I saved. F9.
We're not kicking you out.
We
Just
should have
keep
made
the
these
sermons at the
so that the
temple and
player
let us
owns
all
them,
sin
so it's
in
not
peace.
freaking stealing. Boop.
You
By order of the Jarl, stop right there.
Shoot. Fine. We'll make the player happy. Fine, we'll make them our apples. Free for all apples. Boot up the Creation Kit. I'll see you there. Load apples. Alright, let's go back to Riften, B, and Barb. Riften, B, and Barb. Can we do ownership of individual things? Let's say like on init. When the Apple script loads, we could make its owner. There's ownership. There we go. NPC. Player. Cool. layer. Cool. Now ownership says the player. I'm going to save, close out of this, and go back to the bee and barb in Skyrim.
The return
We're
of the
back, and
dragons
this guy
is
won't
not
shut
mere
up.
coincidence.
So I'm going to be ridiculous, and I'm just going to open up the console. I'm going to click on him. That shows his form ID. Actually, it shows his object reference ID, because he is an instance of himself. And I'm going to say disable. Shoo.
No, Maramo. We talked about
Cool, we
this.
can take them.
Talon,
Let's take the red apple.
Enough, Maramo. We've all heard of the dragons and their return. There's no need to use
we
them
just
as an
grow? I
excuse
don't
to
think so. I
harass
think you
our
need to eat them.
customers. We're not kicking you out.
Let's take them all.
Just keep the sermons at the temple and let
Oh,
us
never
all
mind.
sin in peace.
Unactivate totally does it. This one should kill us. It's going to be a bummer. I wonder if you can make it grow more and shrink more. Didn't grow or shrink enough. Cool, I got the scripts open. You can open this up in whatever. I'm gonna see what happens if we cast it a bunch of times. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it'll work. And then compile. Go back into the game. We're back. Oh no,
Enough,
put away your
Maramo.
weapon.
We've all heard of the dragons and
Okay,
their
let's
return.
take the red one.
There's no need to use them
Come
as
on.
an excuse to harass our
Red
customers.
apple. Take
We're
red
not
apple.
kicking you out. Just keep the sermons at the temple
Yeah,
and let
I
us
guess you
all
only grow a
sin
little
in
bit.
peace.
Take the green one. I don't want to steal stuff. Take the green apple. Shrink a teeny bit. There's probably a way to
Welcome to
customize
the
it.
bee
Take the
and
green
barb.
apple and you're gonna die.
If I
So if we take a random apple, we're not gonna die. We gotta take those apples. And the same applies to everything. Pretty much everything. Spells, there's like only a concept of a spell. But if we don't do armor or something, there's kind of a gotcha. Good examples of individual instances of stuff are, I don't know, I could have a barrel and make an individual instance of it that has some stuff. Then you can get a reference to just that barrel, not the concept of a barrel. The concept of a barrel is form. Did I load this up? What are we going to do once we get in there? What's a better way to show you? Now, some things, unlike I couldn't get this working for apples, have scripts on their base form, and that script will apply to all of them. And then if you want to, you can apply scripts to just the object reference. So like, I don't know. Yeah. Go to the bee and barb. I don't know why I couldn't do that with an apple, but let's get a barrel or something. We'll get a barrel. Here's an empty barrel. Open it up. Call it apple barrel. And we can set the name apple barrel. That's what you'll see when you mouse over it. We're making a base form. We're just gonna hit OK and say yes, we want to create a new form. Here's the apple barrel. Whenever you, let's say, put something in the apple barrel or take something from it, when you it's a magic barrel. When you activate it, it'll put a bunch of apples in your inventory. I don't know. It'll do something. Now this is an object reference. It'll extend an object reference because in game, it's going to attach the script to the barrel, but it's the same script for all barrels. So I don't know. Apple barrel script. At its source. I don't know. When you activate it, we'll just reuse that. It'll, give you an apple of death. Object reference, because there's only one apple of death. Property, apple of death. Wonder what happens if we try and give it a bunch. Auto. Yeah. And it'll take the nomer, in case the activator, the person, the player, and we'll say player.add item. Normally you add a base form. Let's see if this works. Apple of death 10. We'll add 10 apples of death. I don't know. This is only barely showing you the differences. I'm gonna hit see if we can save that. Apple of death is not a variable. Oh, because it actually exists as a thing. Can we say apple of death? Can we do this? Oh no! See if that works. Because apple of death actually exists as a thing. I don't know if this will work. Get rid of the A after add item. Cool. We actually have a reference to the apple of death. Forms, or I guess even instances, can have names, and you can reference them as actual objects. So here's our apple barrel, and it'll do that. Let's throw one in the game. You know what's about to happen. If we make a script for just this one, we can see that it has the apple barrel script already. You could remove it for just this instance and say this instance doesn't do that. We can also say new script, one for just this apple barrel. So just this one. And for that one, we'll edit the source, and we'll say I don't like these names, but whatever. Go apple, apple. This one, because it's special, it's going to say debug notification. This one is special, adding more apples. And we'll give the player five grow apples. Now, there's an interesting thing, which is when things go into your inventory, then they no longer become references, usually. Because you can have 10 of something. So, I'm actually curious if how this is going to work. Save. What's supposed to be called? What I call it? Just this apple barrel. Save. Cool. Saves. Click on it. Associate those properties. See if we can get a. There's food apple. And now, if we just said form property apple of death, it wouldn't let us use form property death apple auto and form property grow apple 1 or something auto. And we did this. We'd have to go through all the apples in Rift and B and Barb, or double click on one. We'd have to do this. We could say pick in render window, and boop, there's an apple over there. But we need it to be a death apple, so Rift and Bean Barb, where you at? There's the apple. There's only one of them in the world. I don't know. I don't know. Save and go in Skyrim.
Mere coincidence.
We should have put this guy up on this and it would be like his soapbox. Shoot, you're talking too much for my
No,
screencast.
Mom. We talked
Oh
about
man,
this.
I don't want to steal
Talon.
from it.
Enough.
Well, what
Mom.
happens if we do?
We've
And then
all
we'll go
heard
right
of
to our
the
inventory.
dragon.
This is a special one, added more apples. Cool, that's what's in it.
Return.
See, we got apples. We got a green apple. We got a red apple. Ooh. It only gave us one. We tried to add 10, but there's only one in the world.
There's no need to use them as an excuse.
And because
to
there's
harass
only one
our
in the world,
customers.
it took them from the table.
We're not
You
kicking
can't
out.
add 10.
Just keep the service.
'cause there's
at
only
the
one of
temple
them.
And let us all sin in peace.
And so here's a grow apple. Forget which is which. Oh, I forget which is which. That's not good. Red apple. Didn't do anything. Green apple. When they moved to our inventory, they like lost their properties. Let me find out why. If I can get my mouse back. I'm thinking it's just because the way inventory works is it's got forms. Everything that goes into your inventory has a form. And so our apple, yeah. Oh, and by the way, it didn't trigger the magical effect because we didn't activate it. We ate it. And that's different. And I don't know how to get something for when you eat it. We'll find out. It could be when you equip it. I think that's probably the most likely. Go to our apple. Where's our apples? There's an apple barrel. Oh, those apples only exist in the world. Right. They don't actually even list here. If you got an object reference, it won't show up in the object window. Even though it's an object, you got a reference to it. It'll only exist in the place that you put it. So our instance of our barrel and our instances of the apples, they're just there. So if we go to Riften, be in the bar, head on over to our apples. Can we give this a special name? See, the name for something actually comes from its form. And its base object is an apple. So it's just going to get red apple, green apple, because the name of a thing comes from its base form. An actor, like an NPC, its name comes from the base form. An apple, its name comes from the base form. Instances, object references, or an actor is an individual reference to an actor, they ain't got names. They got base forms, which got names. So, let's just update the scripts of these things in the following way. We'll go to the properties, we'll go to the source, rather. We'll go here, open this up in my notepads. And here's what we're going to do. Instead of on activate, let's just say on equipped. I think that's it. Just like on equip and unequipped. I think one is for the object. Event called when the object reference has been equipped by an actor. Unequipped actor. This is the nomer. So let's try that. And so all I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in here and for all these I'm going to change on of activate to on equipped and change the nomer to an actor. Save. Cool. That's this one. Now let's do this one. We don't actually get the shrink apple, so I'll hold off on that one. Edit source, change on activate to on equipped actor nomer. I think that's how it works. Let's go find out.
Talon,
Right, we got our barrel. No, I don't want to do that. We got our green apple and our red apple.
Enough, Mom.
They're called green apple and red apple because the base form. We can make a new base form called Apple of Death, and make a new base form called Red Apple, and all we would do is we double click on the Apple form that already exists, and then change its name to like Apple of Death, and then hit OK, and it's going to ask you, do you want to make a new form? And you do. So let's nom the green apple. I think that'll kill us. Let's nom the red apple.
Oh, we've all heard
If this works. If on-equipped works.
dragons and their return. There's no need to use them as an excuse
Let's see if this dies. If this kills us.
to harass our customers. We're not kicking you out. Just keep the sermons at the temple and let us all sin in peace.
Yeah, I see he had the little stuff coming off of his shoulder, like that showed the magical effect. I want my mouse. Oh, it worked and you weren't there to see it. It worked and you weren't there to see it. I'm so sad. Let's go back to the main menu and go back to Ripped and Beyond Barb. I was like, this is stupid. Why is it not working? I think I know why. Our player might actually start with a green apple or something. Seriously, Rift and B and Barb. Oh, I disabled that guy, so he's still disabled. And I ain't got anything. Let's go activate the barrel. And there's nothing in the barrel, but it adds stuff. Red apple and a green apple. Let's have the red apple. And you can see that he's glowing, so apparently he shrunk. And we'll eat the green apple. And we die! Woo! So it's the individual instance, and my favorite part of this whole thing is this. Let's I'm gonna go back into the Bee and the Barb. This is my favorite part. My favorite part of this whole instance of a thing is when we activate the barrel, it's going to give us, we tried to give it like us 10 apples of death and an apple of grow. Keep your eye on that red apple. You see that red apple? The red apple up there. Keep your eye on that. I'm going to activate this. Where'd the red apple go? Where'd the red apple go? There's only one of them in the world, so it can't give us 10. And then the green apple. Oh, it killed us. It's so sad. So, I don't know. You know, the concept of a mug of chai tea, an actual mug of chai tea, that's good. That's all I got. I don't have a better way to show you. I'm sure I could re-record this a couple times and probably come up with a better way, but why don't you just hang out with me and let's go learn about scripts for a couple episodes. Does that sound cool? I'm gonna drink my mug of chai tea. Alright, I'll see you there in a minute. Happy modding. Alright, peace out everyone.